once again, and welcome to Beyond Borders podcast. Beyond Borders is where we emphasize the benefits of outsourcing and BPO, especially outsourcing to the Philippines. We're going to be speaking with Chris Buckham, CEO of Cooee Incorporated. Welcome to Beyond Borders, Chris. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself briefly, and then let's jump right into Cooee Incorporated and what Cooee Incorporated actually is.
Yeah, sure. I mean, my journey in outsourcing started in about 2005. I worked for Deutsche Bank, and they were probably one of the first big multinationals to set up a shared service center in Manila. And then shortly after that, they asked me to move over there. So I moved to the Philippines in 2008. It was meant to be a 2-year assignment, and I ended up living in Manila for 15 years. Wow. So a life changer. And I spent those first few years with Deutsche Bank, helping grow that site, and then eventually moved on from the bank and started Cooee in 2017.
Talk about how Cooee Incorporated's vision helps businesses achieve their goals through offshoring specifically.
Well, I mean, look, my background in outsourcing started in the corporate world. So that experience of building teams under very tight governance structures, regulatory requirements. It was about taking everything we'd learned in that and then applying it to small to medium-sized businesses. So really with the same goal, the things we achieved in Deutsche Bank and for the bank, taking that and offering that to SMEs in the West. So that's in effect what we do, helping SMEs on that journey of building a team in a different location and helping them manage that team and run that as a multi-year sort of transformation of their business.
Your company overview mentions redefining what it is that you do and how you do that. Give us a brief example of how Cooee Incorporated has helped a client achieve this.
Yeah, I think it's the same philosophy that applied 20 years ago when I first did this in Deutsche Bank, was taking a role from a different location, moving it to the Philippines or to wherever, India or wherever it was, and allowing that resource in the sending location to step into a new role, right? Something more complex, something more revenue driven, whatever the case is. That's exactly the same philosophy that applies today. So a business will come to us and just say it's a finance role, for example, where we're able to move parts of the role to the offshore team to enable that resource to take on more complexity in their role, spend more time on other areas of the business. So that's what we mean when we talk about redefine what you do in your day-to-day by using the tremendous options available through offshoring.
Now, it's my understanding that the meaning of Cooee is kind of a call to connect. How does Cooee foster that human connection with its teams and with its partners?
Yeah, I mean, Cooee is a very uniquely Australian word. It's a call. It's a call for help and a call to connect. And I think when we talk about outsourcing, offshoring, building teams, having a strong connection is one of the most, if not the most important element to success. I've seen that over 20 years of doing this. That's kind of where Cooee came about, because Cooee is that call. It's a call to connect, a call for help, and building that strong connection, which is all about trust and relationship, which you clearly need if you're taking a business process on behalf of someone else. So that's what we really kind of try and foster through, particularly our core values, how we operate every day, how we interact with our clients, and how we continually kind of build trust, build the relationship as they go through their offshore journey.
A kind of a two-pronged question. You say you got there in 2008. It was supposed to be a 2-year assignment, but you've been there ever since, or you were there for at least 15 years. Having been in the industry this long, what are some of the key challenges and some of the key opportunities that you see in the BPO industry in the Philippines? And if you could touch on maybe some of the legislation that could affect BPO today.
Well, I mean, the opportunities are significant. I mean, the fact that we've seen the rapid expansion of the industry in those 15 years. When I got there in 2008, there were there were a handful of companies that were in country, and within a few years, you had the big banks arriving, tech companies, and it's grown, at a rapid pace since then. So the challenges around that, I think, are in some areas is just the infrastructure trying to keep up with the demand. I'm probably talking outside Metro Manila, but we see in some cities that they're frantically trying to build more office space just to house the demand. But I see that as a good problem to have, a great problem to have for the Philippines, because the rapid expansion is needed, and we continue to need it across the whole country. It creates an immense, it creates so many opportunities, which has knock-on effect to lots of other roles that get created because of a BPO setting up in a certain place. All right, they need security, they need canteen facilities, you need transport, all of these things that have a knock-on effect. So overall, great story, and I'll definitely see that continuing. The legislation piece, there's obviously, there's a few things out of the US in terms of kind of maybe some restrictions that may come into play. It's just such a broad market these days, right? There's so many ways to look at outsourcing, everything from the way a big corporate goes, approaches it in captive models through third parties, then the whole freelance market, which is obviously, a huge kind of market, direct hires, etc. So legislation doesn't really, probably concern me, or I don't really see it kind of stalling any of the growth, which just appears year on year just to be accelerating, which is great.
What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a business considering offshoring for the first time, and why should they deal with Cooee Incorporated?
The first thing I tell any business when I'm asked this question is they've got to really have a plan, right? I would look at it as, you've got to look at it as a long-term strategic plan. If you want to do something short-term, there are different ways to go about that. There are, freelance models. You can find talent for those kind of initiatives. But if you want to build a long-term strategic plan around offshoring, you've got to be clear in your mind and top down. So from the business owner and the C-suite, that this is a direction you want to go, and that you're going to invest into that journey and see it as a long-term strategy for your business. And I think you come to Cooee because of trust, right? So the trust, we're a managed service provider, so we're very, very hands-on. And the businesses that come to us, the businesses we onboard, they stay with us for, as I said, a multi-year journey, in which, and on that journey, we see a significant amount of transformation in their business and how they operate, how their teams grow, and how they really operate as that sort of team extension model, one team across multiple locations.
Give us your geographical reach, the countries that you're servicing right now, and then give us some contact information where our listeners can learn much, much more about Cooee Incorporated. Yeah,
sure. So we operate with clients, a lot of them out of Australia, with clients in the US, both coasts, the UK, and in Singapore. And if you want to get in contact, obviously through our website, which is cooeeinc.com. And then, of course, we've got all of the LinkedIn and the other socials available, and various ways to contact us through those channels.
And that's COOEEINC.com, correct, Chris?
That's correct.
Thank you. Chris, been a pleasure speaking with you. Good luck in your future endeavors, and I'm sure you don't need that luck. You've got it in hand. I thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to another conversation with you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Beyond Borders, the podcast where we talk about the benefits and advantages of outsourcing, especially outsourcing to the Philippines. We've been speaking with Mr. Chris Buckham, CEO of Cooee Incorporated. Audio copies of this program are available at verticalinternetmedia.com, and you can find out more about our BPO services at outsourcingfit.com.